What's up everybody, Kinetic here and welcome back to The Division. At last, I'm finally starting to put together some build videos for this game. It's been a long time coming and I've got a lot to talk about, so let's just get right into it, shall we? I'm going to talk about what this build is good for, how to build it, and also discuss its strengths and weaknesses. This LMG suppression build is designed to do just that, suppress enemies, put a lot of pressure on them, and put a lot of damage for anybody that dares stick their head out. This is intended for PvE content, like for example challenge missions, maybe elite farming in the dark zone, but I wouldn't put it past also being a great asset to team fights in the dark zone as well. The LMG can definitely spray a lot of pain out there. But since we are focusing mainly on PvE for this build, I take into consideration how best to sustain myself and sustain my team in both health and damage output for this build. Skill-wise, this is going to start with Smart Cover. This is, I believe, to be the best skill that an LMG wielder can have, and I mod it with the Recharger mod. Allies using a reinforced cover slowly recover their health and get their skill cooldowns decreased. Why is Smart Cover the best skill, and why is that the best mod? Well, I'm going to start by talking about Smart Cover. As an LMG wielder, you are going to be staying out of your cover with your head popped up, spraying your bullets out of your magazine for a much longer duration than those other guys on your team. For example, those with assault rifles and SMGs, they have much smaller clips, so they have reason to duck down a lot more often than you do. So this begs, honestly, for an LMG wielder to have a greater damage resistance, and also it wouldn't hurt to have a damage buff either, and that's exactly what Smart Cover does. It gives us a really nice damage resistance buff and also a damage buff. Now with the Recharger mod, this is also going to help maintain your health, as you'll be taking fire, no doubt. With all the noise that you're making and all the attention that you're getting from spraying bullets, you're going to be recovering health with this, and it's also going to help with your skill cooldowns, which is also never a bad thing. Now for the second skill, this is just as important, but I kind of leave this up to your personal preference, and it may also be decided on what your team composition is like and what kind of skills they're bringing. Now for me personally, I absolutely love to bring Pulse with the mod Tactical Scanner. Damage is increased when attacking any hostile targets identified by the Pulse scan. This is going to be a great way to kind of help make up for the general lack of crit hit chance that an LMG would have. This is also, of course, going to buff your critical hit damage, and so it's just really good for any gun, but definitely helps to make up and increase the LMG's potential for damage output. Now, even if there's another guy on your team that also has Pulse Scan, maybe with the exact same mod, there is absolutely nothing wrong with two guys having this in the party, as long as they're using it while the other guy's Pulse Scan is on cooldown, of course, right? If you're looking for a little bit more health maybe, and also some extra bullets in your pocket, then I highly recommend the support station with the ammo cache mod. While close to this device, allies regain their ammo as they reload, and skill cooldown recovery is faster. This is a really nice mod and is just generally going to help you keep you healthy and your allies around you as well, of course. And for those really dragged out encounters where it's going to be a while before you get to the next ammo box, this station is also going to help you out in keeping your ammo count up with this mod. For my signature skill, I really like taking Survivor Link. Increases damage resistance and speed for the user and nearby allies. This is especially helpful, I think, in those challenge missions where you've got like 3 or 4 hardcore shotgun guys rushing your team. This is going to help you make a tactical retreat without half of your teammates going down in the process. Next up, let's take a look at the talent choices for this build. Talents are essential for any build and how successful it is, I think. For me, I like to start things off with the medical talent critical save. Use a med kit during low health to increase damage resistance by 40% for 10 seconds. This is kind of along the same vein as the Survivor Link. This is just going to help you make a tactical retreat, especially as you're getting low health, and just give you that extra clinch kind of abilities to survive the more dangerous situations. Next up, I go with the tech talent Tech Support. Kill a hostile while any skill is deployed to extend any active skill duration by 10%. And then I've got 2 security talents, stopping power, suppress a hostile to increase headshot damage by 25% for 10 seconds. This is a no-brainer because we're going to be suppressing enemies left and right, like I said, with our LMG, so this is going to be a really nice boon to your damage output once you get those headshots. And for the final talent, I go with One is None. Headshot a hostile to have a 50% chance of not consuming the bullet. This is just going to help keep your pockets full of bullets, especially for those long encounters when you're going to be spraying a lot of bullets and it could be a while before you get to the next ammo box. This is going to help maintain your bullet count. But we are going to talk now about secondary guns. And what you can use as an effective secondary, I think, to be there for you when maybe you're reloading and you need bullets right now, for example, to burn down some enemy that's bearing down upon you, or maybe you're just completely out of bullets and you need something good to kind of make up for now for that loss. Now this is really going to come down to personal preference, but I honestly think that guns like, for example, shotguns and SMGs simply have too short of a range to step into the shoes as the replacement for when your tactical runs completely out of bullets, if it runs out of bullets. Or, like I said, maybe it's just a situation where you don't have time to reload, you've got an enemy coming right around the corner, and assault rifle is just as good at being that swap to weapon for spraying a lot of bullets into the enemy's face in hopes of burning them down before they burn you down. Now you may have noticed already on the screen that I've got the Pecan LMG in my inventory. Now you also probably want to know, how do I feel about the Pecan? As many of you already know, this is the LMG that you can buy with regular credits, and you don't need to spend Phoenix credits to buy the blueprint like you do, for example, the Tactical M249. Now, in short, I believe personally that for regular credits, the Pecan LMG is totally fine as a gun to try and get your feet wet, see if you like the taste of LMG action, and generally is a decent weapon for a freshly leveled level 30 character. However, if you want to take things more seriously as an LMG wielder, the Tactical M249 exceeds in almost every possible way. It is the LMG for serious LMG wielders. If we look at these guns side by side, we can immediately see the strengths and weaknesses of the two. The Tactical M249 can have a much higher damage roll. The RPMs do not change regardless of how you roll these guns. So the Pecan does come a little bit higher in that regard, but has a massive weakness when it comes to the magazine size, and as an LMG, I honestly think the bigger the magazine, the better. It does kind of make up for that small magazine size by having the Swift talent, which gives you 13% faster reloading speed, but just overall, the Pecan, when it comes to magazine size, damage, it just doesn't really compare to what the Tactical M249 is capable of. It also comes with Destructive, which is a pretty good talent for PvE and burning down those elite armor values before you can get to their health, and comes with the Ferocious, extra damage versus elite and named enemies, which is also why I settled for this role on my Tactical M249 from the blueprint, is because it came with Ferocious, and it also happened to come with Deadly at the end. And then you notice that I don't actually meet the requirements for the Predatory, and well, to be honest, I don't know anybody that is able to reach such high values in any stat, for example, stamina at 2300 plus, and is also able to maintain 1800 plus in the other attributes. If anybody knows anybody like that, please point me out to them so that way I can ask them, how the hell did you do that? This game generally seems to, for the most part, try to force you to either specialize in some kind of attribute, firearms, stamina, or electronics, or if you want to go with a quality build, which means to have the various attributes kind of at an equal range. Alright, so taking a look at the mods really quick, this is another reason why the Tactical comes out on top, because the Pecan doesn't even have an underbarrel mod slot, which is just another weakness added to the list there, but the Tactical M249 has all the bells and whistles here. Let's start by taking a look at scopes. I've got a headshot, damage, and critical hit chance scope. For the magazines, you want the biggest magazine size pretty much that you can get. It just so happens that I'm currently using the biggest magazine sizes that I've rolled on other guns, but 90.5% more magazine size is plenty more. This gives me 190 freaking bullets for this gun, plus some nice reload speed as well. For the underbarrel, and actually for the muzzle both, I go with accuracy and stability, and the reason for that I think is well obvious to most people that understand an LMG. It's a wild gun to shoot. The longer that you hold the trigger, the wilder it becomes, and I also happen to shoot my LMG in a variety of ways. Sometimes I'll be looking down the scope, sometimes I'll be just firing from the hip, and other times I'll even be blind firing on enemies that are trying to come around to me, and so having a really nice tight accuracy range and having good stability is really helpful. So what about armor and other attributes to consider? Well, again, this is going to be kind of personal preference, but it's also going to be dependent on your talents that you rolled on your LMG and whether you want to give in to those talents or not. So for example, I've got one talent here, again pressuring me into specializing in stamina, but I'd rather go for an all-around kind of quality build with the ferocious, because I think that this talent is better for my playstyle, and so I build my armor, of course, around that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I think is going to wrap it up. I've rambled on long enough for this LMG build. I hope that you enjoyed this. I'm going to be putting together more of these builds for various guns and various playstyles, be it for PvE or PvP, for groups, or for solo. Keep an eye on my channel here, as I'm going to try and keep the videos out rolling as regularly as I possibly can. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and leave me your thoughts down in the comment section below. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video. Thanks again for watching. My name is Kinetic, and I'll see you next time.